you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
The money in this capitalistic society and refuse to see the writing on the wall. Just like we, listen. I could say I hope I'm wrong about this thing, about this Kenyan, Caucasian, African president. But my Lord says that this here is just part of the diabolical plan.
That's it.
It's just an outgrowth of what they had already been doing to subdue us, so that the world would think that they're fair, so that they can open up the playing field for internationally.
That's right.
In their secret agencies, their secret institutions to rule the world. And at the same time, keep us slaves. Because if they could take, let's say they take 50,000 of our people and make them elite. What about the 50 million?
Right.
Huh?
They're thinking, see, you got 50,000 that are the elite though.
If they got 50,000, you know we don't have 50,000.
Right.
But if they took 50,000, that's still a small number. Now we got people in our politics that have utterly lost their way from black love.
Yeah.
They think they have it, but they don't have it because they've lost it. If they were down and out, they would remember what true love is for our people. The united front of our people is gone.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be unfair in politics to do for your people and to do for all people.
Right.
One of the great problems of this society, they talking about taking away summer school and keeping the children in school all year round to catch up with the Japanese and the Chinese. Japanese almost ruined their children with so much education. You can only take with so much information. You understand?
Right.
The problem they trying to fix, again, they trying to fix it in the wrong way. If they be just and fair and righteous across the board of education, and I mean take the African American child or the Hispanic child, the Puerto Rican, the Dominican, the Caucasian, take all of the Chinese, the Asian, take them all and treat them the same, have the same aspiration for these children, and give them the same education. I'm talking about educate their parents and stop letting fools have babies and raising babies raising babies. I mean, the education clear across the board. They will not have this lack of education, because see, if you gonna poison me, that poison gonna get into yours too.
Holy-Apostle.
And that's what then happened across the board of America. Right. They trying to poison certain people and trying to raise their own, and Allah is never gonna let it happen.
Holy-Apostle, you just saying what Ahezaah said all the time. If they all come to the divine covenant, that true education would liberate everybody. And they don't want that.
And they don't want that. Because the fact of the matter, I don't care how they cut it, this country has been run by Masons.
Oh yeah.
And in Masonry, they'll tell you after you reach a certain level, your so-called great 33 degrees. It's not 360 degrees. It's just 33 degrees of the 360.
Right.
That Allah is the Lord,
right.
And you're serving the devil.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And you're in this thing where you can't get out. You got a blood contract. They try to expose the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? When they have a blood contract, you try to get out, we will kill you and your family. You expose this, we'll kill you and your family. You understand? And they run this country. They've been running this country. Most of them were Masons. And they take a part of the Holy Quran, break it off for themselves, put the rest back, and rule the people off of this agreement. That broken agreement.
Many of them don't realize.
And that's the devil.
They're Satanists. They are outright Satanists.
They are the highest level of the jinn that the prophet, that Allah talked about through the prophets of old. People don't know what the jinn are. Right. They think it's the genie. They didn't play this game. It's a genie in the spirit realm. No,
the hidden ones.
You got the unseen of the spirit realm, and you got the unseen of the material realm.
That's it.
That's why Prophet Muhammad had said, wrote in the Holy Quran, the men and jinn. What he was talking about was the powerful men.
Right.
You got three kinds of men.
That's right.
You got the common men, you got the powerful men, then you got the most powerful men who you will never see running things. Right. They always put up their powerful figureheads. But you got a world of people, a whole nation that you will never know. This nation is built up on 3 segments. They got a case system here in the United States of America that you don't recognize. People only recognize those who they divide amongst the public.
Right.
Those very same people put enmity between Caucasians and Africans and anybody they can among the common people. That's why we fight out here in these wars, in these cities, in these ghettos, in the suburban areas, because they the ones put us one against the other.
And so striking that even within the African American community, you just said how they're against one another.
Yes.
And I'm reflective of how Lord, you was talking about how I remember Elijah, the teachings of Elijah and the calling of the white man, the devil, you know. Now in the respect of African Americans recognizing their evil, African Americans across the board in America recognize the evil of what the Caucasian Americans historically did to them. I remember as a child being told the story of Emmett Till back in 1955 when he was abused and he was killed over a minor thing, you know, a kid. And we was taught the story like it was like a childhood story or something like that. We was there taught to recognize this. So even from our youth and across the board, we all knew what Elijah was saying. They all knew, but
he could have tricked. He could have tricked. We know that what Elijah Muhammad and even the most bougie of our people
know what he was talking about. They was happy, secretly they was happy with him being here. The politicians, black politicians, the bourgeois, they was happy secretly, but they was hating openly because of their love for their masters. They worship the master, they love it. That germ has been in our people and you can't get it out unless you kill them. You got to annihilate all them people like that to get that out of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's really in them.
If
you say the Black History Month, they never want to talk about all the atrocity that we've been through as a people during Black History Month. They do not want you to teach your small children these things. They don't open up no books to slavery, no books to...
No, they don't want to give you no real education, but they do want to give you the emotionalism that they throw on TV and then always have you singing these old sad behind songs to depress you, that gives you a counter effect. You know, it's just like reverse psychology. Okay, let them see about how bad we did them, but put that damn song on.
Yeah.
You know, and let them see them people, the more countrified people marching slow and getting their behinds whipped.
Yeah.
You know, and let them be mad, but then throw something else to let them know that we overcoming. Let one of their famous people tell the story, so they'll know that all you gotta do is hang on, and you gonna be like this person.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
They sold the greatest imagery when they brought this king up to presidency. The dream has been fulfilled.
That dream ain't fulfilled.
I know, that's it. But that's
Martin's dream got killed with Martin because Martin's dream changed. See, while Martin was sleeping and dreaming, all of a sudden he started seeing Elijah and what Elijah was saying. They said, "Wait a minute, now I done what I done. I done been to the mountaintop. I done stripped myself naked. I done let them hit me on all four of my cheeks. And they still do. Let me go see Elijah. Okay, Elijah, maybe we can do something. Pow!
Somebody killed him.
Kill him. Kill him now before he opened his mouth to the public. And Allah allowed that to happen as a trial for the people.
Just like the same thing on the other side of that coin with Malcolm. Him leaving Elijah was a premature talking to his death. Most people don't want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, it took him
because
to his
it wasn't time for you. He was trying to get away. He's bringing now with you.
Malcolm wronged our people.
Right.
And once Malcolm wronged our people, Malcolm recognized that he wronged our people, but he could not change it. Right. And if you look at the film, because a picture's worth 1,000 words. If you look at the film of Malcolm, when he was talking during the time he was a part of the Nation of Islam, he was a strong man.
Yes, sir.
But when you looked at him when he had left the nation, he was a shaken man. You could see it. He was not the same man. And he knew that he had enemies on both sides.
That's right.
And he knew someone was going to kill him. Unfortunately, he was used for a greater division of our people because Elijah did not have him killed.
Right.
Other people had him killed for that, so they could bring about that division. Right. You just had big mouth guys who wanted Malcolm's position, talking, made it easier for the enemies of man to kill Malcolm and say Elijah's people did it because this guy said this, that, and the other.
Right.
And see how, A.H.A.D has given us so much. And if Malcolm would have never came back and tried to speak in absolute,
he'd have been all right.
But you see, he came back in that tongue of absolute, and he didn't bring the other side of that coin.
Right.
Yeah, it was Caucasian people over in the Middle East bending to Allah and everything.
There's racism over there now, right in that.
That's what I'm saying.
And enslaving dark-skinned people.
Oh yeah.
My whole thing is, you can't deal in absolute because Allah is only real.
And then let's take this thing back to Malcolm. That devil again. That devil again. Okay, I can speak better than this man here who has taught me.
Right.
And everybody loved me.
Right.
And now I got my wife in my ear. You should be the leader. The hell with this. You should be the leader. You should be the leader. And then a disgruntled son. My father ain't right. He got all these wives, young girls, wives. Right. This ain't right, man. I should be the leader. But steadily whispering in Malcolm's ear, then Malcolm go over because he can't see this little man as the messenger no more.
Right.
There's always a question in your mind about the messenger. I have people questioning me, thinking they smarter than me because of their intellectual degrees and what have you. You understand what I'm saying? But Allah will make me incorrect just as a trial for them fools.
Right.
You understand? So when he went and seen Caucasians, he did not understand the magnitude of Elijah's message.
Right.
First of all, Elijah lived around Caucasians and mingled with Caucasians and treated Caucasians with dignity and respect. That didn't take away from the message that Allah made him give.
That's right.
Don't think that Elijah wanted to give the message that he gave. Don't think that he wanted to take the position that he took. We don't know how much he wanted to do, but he was compelled to do it. Every messenger, prophet of Allah is compelled to do it. Moses did not want to do what he did. Jonah did not want to do what he did. Lot did not want to do what he did. None of the prophets wanted to do it. Muhammad tried to run from his duty. None of them wanted because of the magnitude. But they are compelled by the force of life. And in time they become harmonized when they see the protection. The Lord gives them comfort in degrees. And say, I'm comforting you. I'm going to calm you down. You're going to do what I say do. Don't worry about this thing. Their human factor had them in fear.
Right.
So he looking at Elijah It was easy for people to infiltrate his mind. But look at what happened to the people that infiltrated his mind.
Oh yeah.
See, one, the son of Elijah, people don't know he went to hell. They don't know.
The wife was done burnt up
As a sign from Allah.
by her grandson.
Thank you. Where the buck stopped here.
That's what happened.
Where they couldn't take it nowhere else and say, oh, we got to get somebody else for doing this to that. This
That's
one.
right.
By the germ of her own being.
That's right.
There's a sign in that.
Definitely.
You know? From Allah. And it's something we can't change.
And that's where, you know, Allah is so merciful. Allah leaves signs now. In this day and time, Betty Shabazz was a sign. She's a sign to the people. If they but look deep into
But they
it.
raising her up. And
They
she didn't even practice Islam in the way that Islam really is of mind
She was
and heart. You know, her thing was even less in terms of material manifestation of it. And then they try to say, bury her as a representative of Allah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole lot of things. That's our people.
Yeah.
Our people don't want to deal. The very same people that hate Islam want to try to raise her up like she was Muslim. You know? I mean, call a spade a spade.
Well, this is the time
She
and
wasn't
hour
even all that pronouncing social stuff either, you know. She's like a quiet teacher in education or something, but she wasn't even as pronounced as Coretta Scott King, you know.
Well, Coretta Scott King,
You
you
know.
know, I had a bone to pick with her too because she knew what was up with her husband. But at the same time, fear. You know, because this is a great government, a great powerful demon, man. And people are afraid. She was afraid to go out and tell what her husband was up to and why he got killed. They got quiet as quiet could be. They were allowed to exist in peace. And they knew that. So they couldn't really say anything, man.
So they're the same like Easy talking about now. We talking about Muhammad Ali now. And his Parkinson's illness, they know he had no fear. So they have taken the family, King and Shabazz and everybody else, and do them the same way. Raising them because they real no threat. Cause
They no threat no
They're not
more.
going to talk
They no
You
threat.
know, because they're little, but they've been given trinkets. Because they don't been given trinkets.
That's it.
In society. And
They're
people
part-
and our people look up to them like this.
Right.
Oh,
They're
that's
part
how
of
it
that
is.
thing
Right.
like I'm gonna get you sucker. When they said Fred Williamson, what happened to all the freedom fighters? Said they all got jobs,
That's what
government jobs. And look at Jesse Jackson and them, all them people. Come on, for them dogs biting me and doing all this to my people, man, you think I'm gonna settle? You know, they settled. But see, they still got to answer to the Lord Most High.
But Caucasian
That's
people
where they-
wouldn't never settle.
No, because they will never forget. Caucasian people,
Or forget.
they'll dig you up, man, and kill you again.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's
They'll
the
dig you
seriousness.
up and kill you again.
And then when you bring that type of mindset from our people get mad with you.
Oh,
Our people get mad with you.
because our
How dare
people
you talk
has
like
been
that?
taught to be humbled and meek,
Massive, yeah.
and you know. Let me just say this here: the Lamb of Allah is not a sheep.
Right.
See, they
Right.
want us to think the Lamb of Allah is a sheep because the lamb was used to depict the lamb.
Right.
But what is meant by the Lamb of Allah is the knower of Allah. The Lamb is the all-knowing one.
There you go.
Huh? And the Lion of Judah, the lion-hearted, has always been associated with the warrior, the one who was in jihad.
That's right.
You see? So it wasn't, Jesus wasn't no lamb like that. Being all soft.
They tried to act like he was a home.
Well, some of them say that some of the prophets were home. They didn't get so far-fetched. They gone. But the stories I remember about Jesus was always upset with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
He was disturbed with the disciples. He knew they were chumps. He told them, you don't have to go out there. You can go and do what you gonna do. Somebody here gonna lie. Somebody here gonna expose me. You know, so I don't expect you to be with me. You can't hang with me. Y'all chumps. You know? And then when they put him on the cross, how many people went up there and tried to fight them guys and get him off, knowing he was the messenger of Allah?
Called them out before, yeah.
How many try to bum rush the Romans and say, I'm ready to die for you now? Huh? You know, and they didn't psych them up so much that now you got hundreds of millions of Christians talking about somebody else dying for them. Instead of them dying for them, only time the Christians talk about dying for somebody is when it comes to dying for their nation.
Yeah.
For their land and their property, their money.
Yeah.
They ain't talking about dying for a messenger of Allah. No. The messenger of Allah gotta die for them. The Lord sent his man. No, you gotta die for me.
Then we have the Muslims.
Who want to kill everybody.
And down for everybody else's causes.
And
That's what
everybody else's causes.
That's it.
Cause of dying anyway, yeah.
Well, you talking about the African-American Muslims.
That's what you
They so confused, it's pathetic, man. How you got one sect of them over here, they represent the Turks. Another sect over here representing the Indians. Another sect over here representing the Iraqis. Another sect over here representing the Iranians. Another sect over here representing the Sunnis. Another sect over here representing the Pakistanis. You understand what I'm saying? The Afghanis. It's going on and on. All one people representing everybody, and people can't even get salams to one another because, you represent who? Stop for Allah.
Yeah.
What about representing the Afro-American people, the heart and the soul of the chosen people?
And they don't even represent the African people in Islam.
Oh no, they just got one of them Arabs who were killing up the brothers in Sudan, and they just made it worse over there for them people because they didn't go snatch them out like they did Saddam Hussein or Noriega.
That's right.
They say, okay, we charging you. Now they leaving him over there to do what he gonna do, and he putting everybody out of his country. Now he really gonna get him.
Now, it ain't this funny. You go join the military and fight for this country that's fighting against other people, but you can't get this country to say, hey, these people are relatives of mine. Can we go over there and help them out? You understand?
It's always an issue.
Right, we don't have purpose.
It's always an issue, and you know one of the threats that this government had when we went to war with Vietnam is that the Vietnamese was educating the brothers saying, y'all over here, y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all don't know why y'all in this war. You know,
story never told.
Yeah,
Never been
I've
told.
had people foreigners try to talk to me like that, but I had this Muslim brother from Iran once talking to me, and he was telling me I didn't know what the war was, the fight was, the true fight in Islam was, but he made a mistake. He was talking about Islam represents war when it don't represent war in the way they try to propagate it.
Right.
It represents war against yourself, war against that devil of yourself.
Right.
You understand? Now, when he come and try to tell me you brothers don't know what you talk, what you know what Islam is, and ran that on me, I immediately went to war against him. How dare you when you know Arabic?
Right.
You know the Quran and you gonna try to propagate that to me, that Hadithism? You better get out my face before I break your neck. And
But he understood that.
I want the niggerized
was in.
He understood
that.
I want to niggerize that nigga.
He understood that the fact that he was trying to lie to you in the name of Allah.
And he got scared. He got away from me immediately. You know, and I can't respect brothers that go out there worshiping those Aryan Arabs and what have you just because they from another country. You know what I mean? And I can't respect them, and then they want to look down on us because we still have love for our people. You know? They if you're not in their community, they don't want to respect you. But you could be a Christian or a Jew or a Hindu or a Buddhist, and they love you. If I walked up Halsey Street in Newark, said like that guy 48 Hours, like Eddie Murphy was doing, right on Jan Aykroyd. They love me. What are you, man? You what? Alhamdulillah. Okay, I can dig it, brother. But if I go up there Muslim and not from their community, don't even give this nigga salams. Stop for Allah.
That's what.
You know. That's sick.
Right.
Very sick.
That's sick.
Right.
You know, they do the opposite of what Allah said. Allah said treat the believers with softness.
Right.
And the disbelievers with hardness. They treat the believers with hardness and the disbelievers with softness. And then they go to their jobs when where they work for other people, not just Caucasians, and they give them the greatest homage, the greatest honor, but then they be hard against their brothers.
I used to show a sign with that, man. Even though I used to have enslaved our people, we have that slave minded. I used to show that slave minded with every people that go before the Caucasian. I don't care where they from.
Oh yeah,
they all have that slave
because
they've been slaved at one time
they
or another.
all slaved, except them Arabs.
Right.
Them Arabs ain't gonna be slave to the people over here. The French is not gonna be slave to the people over here. The Australians is not gonna be slave to the people over there. But they're their people.
That's why, right?
You understand what I'm saying? But it's just them that's not gonna do it. Even the Chinese, a lot of them bow down.
Oh yeah.
Japanese bow down, but not the ones in Red China.
Oh no.
It's funny.
Huh?
I experienced something, it just brought back awareness to me. Me and my son-in-law was coming into a building and he ran into I don't know what type of Hispanic this man was, but they spoke to each other in Spanish. And I said, wow. And I mean, nicely. And every time I'm with him, he don't even have to know the person. They will speak in Spanish. If he goes to a job interview and it's a Spanish person there, they go out their way to be very helpful towards him and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I got in the elevator and an African American sister got in the elevator with us. And I said, every race of people could be kind to their own race of people.
Oh yeah.
I said, but our race of people who. And the sister said, oh, not me. Nobody even invited her in the conversation. I'm always good to my people. I said, well, that's 1 in a million. I said, because people say to me all the time, they say, you're always so kind. Why are you so nice? Why? Your own people asking you, why are you so nice?
Because that's
instead of asking themselves, why are you so mean? You know what I'm saying? And she went on to say how she was so nice and everything. So my son-in-law said, well, I guess once the weed wear off, she
was intoxicated.
Because our people make it their business to be nasty to each other.
Well, you have to always remember, Holy Queen Mothers, that our people has been nurtured to be a certain way. It's a thing that Caucasians hate to hear us say, but we were physically nurtured and we were spiritually nurtured and we were mentally nurtured to be self-defeatist, and physically we was nurtured to be the overachievers.
Right.
We just happened to take it into sports. We took it from lifting up watermelons and cotton and what have you to running in the races and shooting balls and throwing balls and doing all the things that we do in sports. But if you notice, since they have allowed blacks to believe that they're moving on up, haven't you noticed that in sports there's a great decline? The playing field is even. All of a sudden, blacks is not outstanding no more.
You mentioned watermelon, made me think they had they do a lot of cartoons on Obama, and they said no Easter hunting this year because it's a different president in the White House, and they had a bunch of watermelon on the lawn, and I laughed and laughed.
Oh, you funny.
And they said, why are you laughing? I said, this man don't even know nothing about a watermelon field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Now we got to get out of here because they told us our time.
With that being said, this has been a moment to come before the storm. Have a good evening.
You want to do things right. To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you